Anyway, today shared a picture on my private Facebook regarding one of these pictures you get where it's a bike embedded in the side of the car, and it tells a story how the biker was being a dickhead speeding, and then there was a woman, she was on her phone, she didn't see or hear him come in despite the fact that apparently he was doing 80 mile an hour, and she pulled out on him. The impact with the car was so severe that the bike went into the car, the rider ended up inside the car flipped over, all 3 people died, 2 passengers plus 1 biker. But the story had I wouldn't say it was very orientated against the biker, but it did have that kind of twist, like, oh, the biker was speeding, he killed, and it's like, well, no, sorry. And I posted it, and I just said I think it's disgusting when people have a higher priority for texting their mates than operating their road vehicle. I think it's absolutely disgusting the way they act. I also said that if anybody on my friends list does that, they can unfriend me because I don't want to know them. They're vile people. I wouldn't tolerate their presence. Unless they were giving me presents in the form of money, in which case I would tolerate them a lot. So anyway, I said that. And there's someone I know chirped up saying, well, the bike was breaking the law. And I'm like, yes, I don't disagree with that. The biker may have been speeding. And I opened my arms and went, yeah, I agree, yeah. The biker was in the wrong, he was speeding. But at the end of the day, of the 2 people, the woman on the phone and the biker who was speeding, the biker had more attention on the road. And then they chirped up and said, oh, but you know, if he hadn't been speeding, he might have been able to stop. And I'm like, well, yeah, possibly. But at the same time, it's not really fair when someone puts a 1.5 ton car in your immediate path and then comes to a complete halt, because there's not a lot you can do. It doesn't matter whether you're doing 25 mile an hour or 80. It's the same situation. You go, oh fuck, because you can somersault a bike at 30 mile an hour if you slam on them front brakes hard enough. It's very easily done. Momentum times friction times force times whatever. Generally the whole mathematical equation ends up being you going, oh fuck, and the whole bike just somersaulting over its front wheel. It seemed like he just wanted to peddle the point that the biker was in the wrong as well, and I was like, and I kept saying it, I don't disagree, the biker was in the wrong. But of the 2, a speeding motorist is more likely to be paying attention to the road than someone looking straight down at their lap texting their friend saying YOLO swag, oh, I'm just on my way to the party to get some beers, oh shit, I've hit a biker or a car or whatever. And he was saying, oh, you know, speed kills, and I'm like, well, no, technically speed has never killed anybody. It was thought it would kill you back in the early years of the world, you know, like when people were just inventing horse travel and whatnot. They thought that going 30 mile an hour would kill you because your body wouldn't be able to handle it. But technically speaking, speed has never killed a single person. The thing that kills you is stopping suddenly. You can be doing 100 mile an hour perfectly fine, you can do it all day every day. We do hundreds of thousands of miles an hour through the galaxy. But should, say, for instance, the world to suddenly stop, that would cause a fucking issue. Because then it's force times momentum times whatever. Don't quote me on the maths, I'm not proper on it, but you know, if you're doing 100 mile an hour and nothing affects you, I mean, yeah, you're going to have the air effects and gravity and whatnot. But if you were doing 100 mile an hour on, say, a motorcycle, and then the motorcycle was suddenly to stop moving, but you wouldn't, because you are not technically linked to the bike. Thusly, the bike would stop, you wouldn't, end of discussion. Speed doesn't kill, stopping suddenly does. Like, you can't fall to your death. Technically the term is called falling to your death, but the fact is, you don't die until that last inch or so. I could fall from 10 feet, I could fall from 100 feet. The fact is, the only part that counts is that last inch. That last little bit before your face hits the tarmac and you end up being a pancake. But meh. And basically, it just seemed like a very one-sided opinion on the matter. You know, oh, the biker was in the wrong as well. Biker was in the wrong as well. It's like, yes, I have agreed with you on that. I have not disagreed. But at the end of the day, of the two crimes, I find people who use their phone whilst driving worse. Now, I wouldn't forbid all use of phones. No, if you've got a hands-free headset thingy, provided you're not completely dedicated to the conversation and you are still concentrating on your driving or your riding, I have no issue with it. But it's these fucking knobheads who sit there with their phone in their lap texting while they're driving, and you can see them just looking down, going ahead like this. It's like me trying to look at my lap while I'm riding. It's fucking ludicrous. It's stupid, it's dangerous, and I completely forbid it. And if I found out someone I know did it, the likelihood is I would excommunicate them, because I wouldn't want that kind of person in my life. Disgust me.